In this video, we discuss your 10 best money moves for the next decade. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
Bill Gates said that we overestimate what we can do in 1 year and dramatically underestimate what we can do in 10. The reason for this, by the way, is that we tend to think linearly in straight lines. But when we take action, action stacks on action, and the outcome is geometric. The next decade of your life will be instrumental in setting yourself up for the optimal retirement. So we're going to talk about what I consider to be 10 of the best actions that you can take right now to set yourself up for success a decade from now. Of course, this list is a general list. Some of it may not apply to you. And there also might be other things that you can do and should do to get yourself ready for the day. All right, let's get started. Point number 1 is maxing out your 401k. The power of a 401k is the muted impact it has on your cash flow. Let me explain. If you contributed $1,000 to your 401k, or you took that same $1,000 and you received it as earned income, you would receive spendable cash of about $600 to $650 in most cases. As a payment to your 401k, you have $1,000 going in, taxable at a later date, potentially at a much lower tax rate, but you only feel the same impact of $600, $650. The added benefit of a 401k is that you have the ability to steer your taxes a bit. Take out a little bit more if you have a tax situation where you can take out more. Take out a little bit less if you think your taxes are going to be a little bit higher this year. You control how much you take out and how much is taxed. The exception is a Roth 401k option. Most 401ks offer a Roth option, which simply means that you contribute with post-tax dollars and you take out the funds free of any tax liability whatsoever. But the bottom line is this. A contribution to your 401k, Roth or traditional, only works if you actually contribute to your 401k. And I'm going to give you a frightening statistic. Only 41% of the workforce contributes to a 401k, even though 68% of the workforce has access to a 401k. And a good percentage of those that do contribute don't contribute the maximum. An employee at age 50 plus can contribute $27,000 per year to their 401k in 2022 anyway. Point number 2 is check your allocations in your retirement account, your 401k, your IRA. In your 50s, you have less years ahead than you do behind you in the workforce, and that means you also have less years ahead to recover if the stock market crashes and you happen to be largely in equities. You could say the same thing if you were largely in international stocks or high yield bonds, but the point is a concentration in risky investments has less of a recovery time in your 50s, and that's an important fact to consider. Many people start to rebalance their portfolio in their 50s. Rebalancing dulls the sharp edges of a falling market. At the same time, it allows you to capture higher interest rates, which happen often in a bear market. Of course, and I know this goes without saying, you want to do this before the market crashes, not in reaction to a market crash, because you will permanently be crystallizing your losses in that case. The next point is add an IRA. If you contribute the maximum to your 401k or you don't have a 401k, adding an IRA to your investment portfolio would be an excellent idea. There are income limits if you want to take a tax deduction for contributing to your IRA, but your funds in the IRA will grow tax deferred. And like the Roth 401k, if it's a Roth IRA, you put it in with post-tax dollars and you take it out with no tax liability at all. Point 4 is know where your health care is coming from when you retire. Most people forget about this one. Medicare does not kick in until age 65, and even when it kicks in, some costs while you are on Medicare are still your responsibility. Importantly though, and what I'm referring to here is the gap between when you go off your employer's health care plan and when you qualify for Medicare. That position in between, that point in between, is something you need to plan for now, not when you are 63 or 64 and you step out of the workforce. Point 5, know your retirement number and know it cold. Your retirement number is your back of the envelope number that you know you need to have in order to generate the cash flow that you need to live comfortably in retirement. If you want $10,000 in cash flow from your investments, for example, before a pension payment or Social Security, then that number might need to be $250,000 if you're using the 4% rule as a guide. By the way, many people think the 4% rule is quite conservative. Still, it's better to be more conservative than less when it comes to your retirement. Also, if you're planning on working part-time while you're in retirement, your retirement number would be considerably less. Point 6 is to consider deeply what your retirement means to you, every aspect of it. We talk a lot about lifestyle on this channel, and retirement is certainly more than money, but you do need a certain sum of money to live. How you live will be directly related to the amount of financing that you have and how smart you are with the funds. To help you with this, I have a really good explanation of the interplay between finances and level of enjoyment. I call it the S-curve. It's on my website. I'll show you at the end a link to that website in that particular page. I think you'll find it quite useful when you're thinking about how to spend your money in retirement. The S-curve shows you how to optimize what you have to maximize the juice of retirement, so to speak. It starts off with health and safety, moves on to comfort, enjoyment, adventure, and something I call rock and roll. Point 7 is pay off your debt. If you can pay off your debt, you will live a much better lifestyle than 40% of retirees, because 40% of retirees enter retirement with debt. And that group, on average, uses 40% of their cash flow to pay off their debt. Imagine what you could do in retirement if you doubled your cash flow. Well, if this is you and you want to be that person, you need to focus on paying off your mortgage, paying off your credit card, paying off your student loan debts, and paying off any automobile debt. The next point is know what you have coming in terms of your cash flow. Don't wait until the year it's time to retire. Figure it out now and then continue to re-examine it along the way. I'm talking about specifically exactly how much you have in pension income if you have a pension, what your 401k amount is, and what does that look like if you use something like the 4% rule. What does Social Security look like today? What will it look like in 10 years? And don't forget about taxes. If you have a traditional 401k as your primary source of savings for your retirement, and it's a traditional 401k, unless you're taking out an incredibly small amount and living very Spartanly, you're going to have to pay taxes on that amount. And speaking of 401ks, if you have scattered 401ks across a number of different employers, consider consolidating them into one IRA. Often the fees are less than a 401k, but more importantly, you know exactly what you have available to you. The next point is always have a plan B and hope you don't have to use it. Oftentimes you don't, but if you do, you will be glad that you gave it thought now, not when the barn is on fire. You could have health problems. You could be laid off. You could have burnout and you just need to get out of the workforce. Who knows? So after you contemplate your ideal outcome, also contemplate a plan B outcome. The last point, if you don't have great financial acumen, and most people don't, talk to a financial planner. A financial planner will go through everything that we've talked about here and much more. More importantly, they will help you organize, which is 9/10 of the battle in many cases. And don't forget to go to my website and check out the S-curve. It's at holyschmidt.com/S-curve. If you like this video and you want to see more of me, please make sure you click subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get alerted the next time I post a video. I post about twice a week. Also, check out this video, Does One More Year of Work Matter for Retirement Safety? This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.